Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Spiritual Spotlight series. Today, I am with Gem Lynn Rhodes. She is the owner and founder of the Mind Body Soul Expo, which is it's an event that happens 2 times a year in Saratoga County. Jim, thank you so much for being on the call with us today.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
I'm so grateful that you're here because the Mind Body Soul Expo, it's a really big event in our area. And you bring together practitioners, crafters, everyone of all walks of life. And what I want to ask you, the first question is, how long have you been doing this event and what prompted you to start doing this?
The very first event was in 2018. Mind Body Soul Expo was actually founded in March of 2018.
Wow.
It followed. I have done craft fairs myself. I actually the image with the model that I use for my expo, I made that headpiece, and I used to do craft shows, and I wanted to organize my own event. And then during that time frame, I ended up getting diagnosed with a vascular necrosis, which is blood loss to the bones.
Yes.
And I had it in both my hips, and my hips collapsed, and I needed back-to-back hip replacement, double hip replacement surgeries.
That is so scary in and of itself. Wow.
It is. And I'm not one to like, I didn't want any, sorry, the alarm is from the fire line. I live next to the fire station, so the alarm goes off.
So does ours, always at 12 p.m.
And so, yeah, and I, going through that healing process alone was like just insane. The amount of pain I was in, and not wanting to take pain meds, and finding alternative ways to, between physical therapy and what I could do. And I found out that having exercise was the best medicine as opposed to taking pain meds to heal. But after my right total hip replacement, 10 days after that, my brother passed away suddenly from a pulmonary embolism. And I actually, that was just a really, not only was I healing from that, it was healing from the loss of my brother. And it was during that time that I created Mind Body Soul Expo. Because I already wanted to create an event like no other, but that was my goal. But based on my hip replacement surgery and the loss of my brother, it just kind of came to light of what I was supposed to do.
Absolutely. It's interesting. There's a lot of talk right now with ascension and how people are awakening more and how people are becoming more enlightened. And it's interesting that you went through this experience in 2018 because they say heart hurts are rocket fuel for your ascension. And it's like you had, massive, your ability to walk was compromised, your ability to take care of yourself, and then having the trauma of losing your brother on top of it. It's like a layered, very traumatizing experience. And then you were able to kind of come out of that and transform it into this beautiful event.
Yes. So it's my healing.
Oh, I love that. And you've been doing it year after year.
Yes.
So tell me, because you wanted to do an event that was, deeper and a more human experience than just a normal trade show. So tell me how you kind of brought together this Mind Body Soul Expo and the kind of events and practitioners that you wanted to bring to it.
I typically, like normal expos or trade shows, they can, I don't want to discredit the good ones because there's a lot of really good ones. But I wanted it to be more of away from a trade show, so more of like a family festival, supporting each other, learning. You know, I wanted it to be a free event for the community where people can come and discover new and different modalities. I
Yeah.
mean, I am still learning. I mean, there are so many different unique modalities out there. It is mind blowing how many there are.
It
And
really is.
yes, and it's so fascinating. And I want to share that
Yeah.
with individuals. I mean, we're all going through something, whether, good or bad, right?
Mhm.
But and a, a lot of us as healers, and when we get into the health and wellness industry,
Mhm.
most of us get involved with it because of we went through an experience
Yes.
that drew us to it. So,
Mhm.
and we want to share that with other people to help them heal. So that's kind of like the foundation of the expo, is to introduce all these unique businesses and share it with the community. I don't charge admission.
Yeah.
It is free. So, people, all they have to do is just walk through the door
I
and
love
then
it.
just explore.
And you don't have it the same place, I've noticed. You have it at different, is that intentional? Like do you kind of tap into the energy and the feeling of that place, or like how do you kind of select your locations?
The very, very, very first expo I had in 2018 was at the Holiday Inn in Saratoga.
Nice. I like
And
that Holiday Inn.
yeah, and we had a pretty good turnout for it. And I'm like, we need to go bigger. And so I sought out the city center in
Yeah.
Saratoga. And the space that they have is like phenomenal. I
Yeah.
mean, it's set up, it's a convention center, so
Yeah.
it's already set up
Ready
for
for
it.
you.
But my ultimate dream was to have, or I should say, I envisioned having the event at the state park in Saratoga. And so this past October, I connected with the manager, or the general
Mhm.
manager at the Gideon Putnam. And he was like, let's do it. And I'm like, all right. So I'm like, oh my God, has been a dream of mine. And so we were able to have the first Mind Body Soul Expo at the Gideon Putnam. So now, going forward,
Yeah.
Mind Body Soul Expo is going to be twice a year,
Yeah.
once at the city center and once at the Gideon Putnam.
Oh, I love that. And both areas are both just, I mean, Saratoga Springs, it's a smaller city, but it's full of so much like
Yes,
divine, cathartic healing. There's just something
yes.
about that area that you're like, oh,
Well, health history horses, and we're the hub of health and wellness. We have the healing waters in
yeah.
Saratoga Springs, which sets a good foundation
Mhm.
for a holistic wellness event. So
Now, for this Mind Body Soul Expo, like you said, you have practitioners, so you have people that will come in and kind of do demonstrations of their healing sessions. I think you have
yes,
psychics, you have a whole variety of all these different types of practitioners,
yes,
but you also have vendors that craft and make things. Can you tell us a
yes.
little bit about those kind of things that people bring in?
Absolutely. So, as you said, not only practitioners for health, wellness,
Yeah.
and holistic modalities, many practitioners also have creative talent too, and
Yes.
they incorporate those services into each of their creativity crafts and whatnot. Like, for example, I'm wearing a
Yeah.
necklace. Um, it's Cindy Howell. She owns the Spiral Connection.
Ooh.
She's a Reiki master, and all her jewelry that she makes has a spiral in it. which holds the energy
Yeah.
of the healing inside that spiral.
I love that.
And she uses unique crystals and
Mhm.
stones that she finds like across the country. Like she travels and gets the stones.
Oh my gosh, I love
So,
that.
and she incorporates that, and then she Reiki infuses her all her jewelry
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. So when she comes to the expo, yes, she's a Reiki practitioner.
Right.
Yes, she does Reiki healing, but she brings her jewelry
Right. I love that.
instead. So and we have artists. I support local artists. I believe that um, as a crafter myself,
Uh-huh.
when you like, creativity is magic, right? It
Yes.
creates that that positive energy, and something that you create and you put on paper or paint. It's mind, body, soul, right? It's that energy coming through. So um, I I support local crafters, local artisans.
Yeah.
I say local, uh, you know, New York State is local. um, so, but I also had a artist that traveled from California to be at the
Wow.
event, and she does channeling energies into her artwork. So she would sit down with a client and channel that energy
Yeah.
onto canvas. And so each person who sat with her would go home with a like 8x7 of what she channeled with the energy between
Wow.
the two of them. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So is that the furthest practitioner you've traveled to your event is from California?
um,
I
yes.
love that. I mean, that's amazing. Like it's a nationwide, like people are interested
Yeah,
nationwide. That's
we have
amazing.
there's a in April we have her name's Chris, and she's coming from the Carolinas. And she does these they're yoga cards,
Oh, how
um,
cool.
they're mantras and whatnot. So when you do meditation yoga practice, you have your cards for that. Um, yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then selecting the practitioners, artists, healers, performances that kind of come to your event, I would imagine that you maybe have a vetting, not a vetting process, but I
I
would
do.
imagine you probably tune it. You probably do have a vetting
I
process
do.
and you probably tune in so that way people of the best and highest good are coming through to your event.
Absolutely. So it's similar to the jurying process
Uh-huh.
for like high-end craft shows.
Yeah.
So it's I call it vetted, and it's based, you know, the most popular categories for applications
Yeah.
is crystals, jewelry, um, psychic mediums,
Yeah.
tarot readers.
Yeah.
So having credentials
Mhm.
is big.
Yeah.
Having and it's you're applying
Of
to the
course.
event. So
Yeah.
it's like applying for a
A
job
job.
where you have
Yeah.
like a resume, or you
Yeah.
have your credentials, what you
Yeah.
do, your testimonials and whatnot, and having a website to reference that information,
Of
just to
course.
make sure you're legit. I mean, to have, unfortunately, there are people who aren't, and
Yeah.
it's, I vet that, so
Yeah.
that way we have authentic people at the event sharing um, their information. But um, I also, I know there are several promoters
Mhm.
and events out there that require a minimum of 5 years or more.
Yeah.
Usually it's like 7 or more years of experience, as far as readers
Yeah.
or um, whichever modality they're in. I don't require that, because there are many awesome individuals who are healers who are just starting out. So my tagline is usually, if you want to get your name out there, come to the event, because it's a great opportunity not only to present yourself to customers, but it's an awesome networking opportunity. There's been a lot of collabs that have transformed out of the expo, just by those who have attended as vendors and practitioners. So it's awesome.
I mean, it's an amazing opportunity for people that, like you said, are healers, artists, and, really trying to, some of us may not feel ready to come out to a larger scale, but you offer this scale, this venue for people to kind of get their toes wet.
And part of the, I pride myself on the coaching process of being a vendor. I have certain standards of being a vendor, and I coach the newbies on how, this is what you do for your display, and these are some examples, and this is how you present yourself. And I do welcome newbies, because they're, this is, their time to shine, right? Too. Everybody needs that opportunity to shine.
And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, Saratoga, like we said, like it's a very family-like environment, and people are welcomed with open arms. And by you providing that opportunity for people to come in, like, hey, maybe I come in as a customer one year, but the next year I'm like, I really want to be a vendor,
Absolutely.
and kind of go through that trajectory, which I just, it's amazing that you provide that for so many people. Would you say, how many people probably attend your event?
So pre-COVID, we had over 4,000 people attend. Post-COVID, our last April event, which was Easter weekend, 2022, we welcomed over 3,500 people through the door.
That's amazing. That's a lot of people.
Yes. And that's over a course of a day. So it's not like all at once.
But but still, it's a lot of people. I love that.
So it's a steady flow of people, or so when, and that's what I also share with newbies, it's not like, boom, you're bombarded with all those people all at once. It's kind of a nice, relaxing flow throughout the day, so you can have time to talk to new clients, potential clients. It's fun.
I love that. I love that. What kind of classes and presentations do you have during your event?
We it changes for each event, and so we have anywhere from I have a mental block, sorry.
Okay.
So we have yoga,
nice.
We have chakra balancing, there's essential oil classes, there's we've done gallery readings, we've done we have journey dance for on the schedule for April's event. We haven't done that yet. Transformational dance we had at the last event. I try to so and that's also a jurying process for the classes. We have anywhere from 8 to 16 free workshops throughout the day, depending on the event and location.
Of course.
And they are free to attend as well. So and so it depends on like the theme of the event. So April's event falls around the full pink moon. So we honor the pink moon. So we try to incorporate classes. We have healing rituals. We have so we try to incorporate the theme in there, and we try to get new and different modalities in there. I have a gentleman from New York City who's coming up. He's a doctor.
Cool.
And he's coming up for a lecture.
Oh, nice.
Too. So, yeah.
I love that. Now, if anybody wants to become a vendor or presenter or anything like that, what is the best way to get in touch with you to go through this vetting application process?
The best way is my email.
Okay.
And it's Mind Body Soul Expo NY @gmail.com.
Okay.
It looks like X Pony when you write it out.
It actually does. I'm writing. I was like, yep.
X Pony. And I just ask that those who are interested, if they could share with me what products and or services they're interested in showcasing at the event.
Okay.
And any, like if they do crafts, to share a couple photos or what their social media or website is, so I can take a look and see if they'll be a good fit.
Perfect. And then
because that's another thing. If somebody's not a good fit, I would also tell them that too. Like, and refer them to an event where because I do have a extensive list of other promoters that they might do better at than mine.
That is so nice that you do that. You don't just ghost them. You say,
no. I was just like, no, I don't, I love what you offer. I have a week. I have
you probably have a wait list at this point.
I do for crystals and jewelry. So
nice.
And for lectures.
Nice. And I would imagine it, like you said, you don't want to bring in 50 mediums and psychics. Like you want to bring in, because your point is to really introduce people to a variety of different modalities. So you don't want to just say, okay, here's my 57.
Exactly. It's not
a personal thing.
It's not a psychic fair.
Yeah, exactly.
So I cap. We have about 12 readers that come to the event, and out of 98 to 112 vendors, I think 12 is good.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah.
And it's also nice for the vendor who signs up too, knowing that they're not going to be, oversaturated with, similar other vendors, it's so they can make some money too. I want them to make money when they leave.
Yeah, of course. When is the next Mind Body Soul Expo?
The next one is April 8th, 2023. It's Easter weekend, and it's at the Saratoga Springs City Center, and that's at 522 Broadway, downtown Saratoga.
I'm writing furious notes for everyone, so I can make sure to put this up when I post it. And now, are you full with all of your vendors, or is there still an opportunity if people are interested to apply to be a vendor?
I still have opportunities. I don't have a deadline for my events.
Okay.
In fact, I take vendors usually like up to 2 weeks before the event. If I have availability. Last April, I sold out of booth spaces a month before the event. So I don't, as I said, I don't have a deadline. It's first to send in their payment and application. Once they're approved, so that my vetting process, the vendors email me what they have, and if I send them an application, they've been approved. So at that point, it's up to them to get their application to me on time. And I say on time, it's until a category fills up. So And then I start a waiting list. So then if somebody is not able to attend for whatever reason, and an opportunity comes available, I reach out to them, or I let them know when the next event is and the application's available, and remind them to get it in as soon as possible.
Nice. That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love that. Anything else that you want to share about the Mind Body Soul Expo or anything in general?
We are the Mind Body Soul Expo is a family.
Oh,
So we support each other.
yeah.
We're not competitive. Um,
That's a big thing.
yes. So, for customers and for vendors. So that's huge. I mean, we're there working together to make
Yeah.
it a very successful event, and the event cannot happen without the vendors.
Yeah.
So we respect each other, and we help each other, and we network with each other and support each other. And that's Mind Body Soul Expo family.
I love that. I love that so
Yes.
much. Well, Jim, I want to say thank you so much for coming on to the Spiritual Spotlight series. I am
Well,
excited
thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's so awesome.
to talk to you about the Mind Body Soul Expo. And I'm like, wow, maybe I have to apply now. So
Yes, you have to come and see us.
I know I'm gonna have to come and see you. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for listening to this amazing Spiritual Spotlight series. Jim, you are phenomenal. And I look
Thank you.
forward to everyone in the next Spiritual Spotlight.